You mentioned the coaching, Jordan. I think nothing shows this front office currently thinking that defensive coaching did it wrong more than the complete and total lack of defensive draft pick. And where I actually even wrote about this on Fans for Sports Network. As much as people were talking about Mason Graham, regardless of whether it's not just that they didn't get Mason Graham, it's the fact that they got nothing at that position. And then I'm reminded and remembering that I don't know necessarily that both these guys did this part, but they were at least Liam Coleman at one point was theoretically involved with the Rams evaluation process. We know that James Gladstone was. We know that he saw Eric Armstead twice a year. And at some point, this dude was putting cards together for Mason Smith. Knowing both those guys were in the building, they still felt confident with the position and hated the hockey rotation, as we've come to start calling it here on the show as well. Just like, of course, just like T-Ways, Locked on Jaguars. I give him his props. Do you agree with that sentiment, first of all, that that's a huge condemnation from this group about last year's defensive coaching?
Yeah, 1,000%. They didn't make any moves at line. I mean, yeah, they took our guy in the 4th round, right, out of Notre Dame, but I don't think they're expecting him to start right away. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely do. I think that they think that this front seven is a lot more talented than it showed last year on a consistent basis. And Eric Armstead playing out of position. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Like, 61% of his snaps at edge.
What are we doing?
Crazy.
I didn't know it was that high, Travis. That's a hell of a stat right there. Oh my God.
He's like, I did sign an edge 3. I did.
No.
Some odd thing.
That, and then Mason Smith not being on the field, and then once he was on the field, he's making plays in the backfield at the line of scrimmage. Looking like, why was he not on the field before? I don't know. So I do think that
on the field too, Jordan. Active scratch.
Yeah.
This dude wasn't even padded up.
I do. I think they like those guys. I think they probably also like what Devon can be, fully healthy, as a big interior defensive lineman. Mm-hmm. And Jordan Jefferson, obviously, they still have him as well. Rookie last year, who I think can be kind of one of those big guys. I still wouldn't be shocked if they make a move at some point. Not a big move, but a depth move at defensive tackle.
You meant physically big.
Are you thinking like nose tackle 0-1 technique? Or are you talking 3 technique?
I would guess somebody that's going to help them against the run.
Okay, so
I think they got dudes that can get upfield.
Jordan is going to be my friend. He has agreed with me so much tonight. I know I can't hug you because we're on the airwaves, but I'm just put me down. Okay, there you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So no, that's all. See, here's now. If just because I buttered you up doesn't mean you can't dunk on me if I'm blowing this part too. So I want to get to the defense too, because I actually did go over to your YouTube channel, Generation Jaguar. And see, you even get bells on this show. That's how nice you've been to me. But
I love it.
But in particular to Jalen McLeod, it's not that I feel like the Jags had any thoroughly, I'm gonna air quote this, bad draft picks. But McLeod is my least favorite. Sure, okay, maybe he's a third edge. At the time of the drafting, my reaction was maybe he's a third edge. He's another versatile guy. The Jags have showed you the versatility is how they roll. All that's great. Then they get Ugba from the Dolphins, in my mind, taking edge 3 completely off the table, and thus further augmenting my concerns. There we go, regarding this draft pick. Because again, I liked everything. Hell, my favorite draft pick was a 7th round guy. I love that they got LaQuint-Allen when they did.
Yes, Lord.
But I'm seeing a lot of nods, by the way, for those on the pod. Yes. This is a hell of a
man, anyone who watched every single game, especially all 22 of the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2024, and if you didn't walk away saying, Lord, we need a pass protecting back, I don't know what film you were watching. So That's where I
Folks,
land on this. Hines-Allen is, thank you, Lord.
hear me when I say, yes, obviously I'm trying to drive you to the Duval Dive YouTube channel. I'm not going to act like I'm not. But on this episode, if you haven't before, check out my dude Jordan DeLugo's reaction to Travis preaching. So go ahead. I didn't know if you were going to say something. I just wanted to point it out, man.
Oh yeah, there's no question about that. And then you watch Hines-Allen and you're like, oh, that's what it looks like for a running back to be able to read where pressure's coming from and make a decision and then go, disrupt an incoming blitzer or lineman, whatever it may be, right? So, and then he's also a really good receiver out of the backfield. And James Gladstone talked about how he kind of looks like a receiver. Like he's a little bit over 6 feet. He's 204 pounds. He runs a little upright. I think that's going to be like his path to being on this team, is being the utility guy, is being the guy they can rely on if they want to have max protect and have a running back there on a big third down who can get the job done. I think that's his path to the team. And then also obviously catching passes out of the backfield. I think he was huge in that department for Syracuse. I think he had 60-something catches last year, 40-something catches the year before that. He's also does have some special teams experience going back to his freshman year. He's also not 21 yet. He's a young man.
Upside.
He's only 20 years old. So I think there's a lot of positives about that one. But you were asking about Jalen McLeod.
I was about to say, we're talking an awful lot about Hines-Allen, and all I'm hearing from you is intangibly rich. So with that in mind, let's jump me over back to Jared McLeod. I got to do the GIF. You did a great thing. But sell me on McLeod.
Yeah, so there's a lot to like about Jalen McLeod's pass rush profile, in my opinion. And he is undersized, right? He's not the biggest dude out there. And I think that was by design. Liam Cohen talked about whoever they end up drafting. They kind of want this to be a player that has a different pass rush skill set, a change up, if you will, to a Josh Hines-Allen, to a Trayvon Walker, who are not the same player at all, but they are both on the bigger, more physical side of things when it comes to being edge players. So getting a change up like Jalen McLeod is pretty cool. And he does have the versatility to play off-ball linebacker. I don't think that's why they drafted him. I think they drafted him because they want him rushing the passer and getting in the backfield. I will say he sets a hard edge for someone his size. He's only a little over 240 pounds. So you love the pop, the violence he has at his size. He has a full bag of pass rush moves. He can win on the outside shoulder, right, with explosiveness off the ball. He knows how to finish those outside rushes as well with the rip and get to the quarterback. He's always looking to get to the football, with his hand, punch the ball out. Had 2 forced fumbles this past year. So he can do that. Then he can counter inside on you. If you're feeling like you're an offensive tackle and he's getting around the edge on you, he can counter inside. He can cross your face. He can get an inside spin counter. So there's a lot to get excited about there, in my opinion. And I don't know how a guy falls that far.
Yeah, so then what were the things you would say that made him potentially fall to that 6th round? What are the things that are question marks as far as his game is concerned?
He didn't have testing numbers.
Yeah.
He's not the biggest guy. Yeah. I don't know how a player like him falls to where he fell and Jalen Walker goes top 15. And I'm not saying he's better than Jalen Walker, but I think that there are very similar players there. Is it just the intangibles? Everybody was blown away by Jalen Walker from a leadership standpoint, football character, all that stuff. I don't know. I just don't see that chasm between a top 15 guy and a 6th round guy. I don't see it.
Okay. And so from the value standpoint, and that's, if anything, that's a good sign. If you value my draft opinion, which you've been warned many times on this show, folks, I'm not a great draft scout, but In that instance, to get if the biggest question of the Jags draft is at round 6, that's a win. But what?
Let me ask the question: is that, Jordan? Would that be would that be the pick that you would consider one of the biggest questions of the Jaguars draft, or do you have another candidate?
No, I didn't think any pick that they made was sus, if you will. Like, I think they all made sense. Now, does that mean every guy's going to make the team? No. Does that mean every guy that they picked is going to end his starting games for the Jaguars? No. But from a process standpoint, like evaluating the prospect, do I understand why they valued that prospect where they valued them? Absolutely. For the most part, I think that everything makes sense.
Can I just add this one nugget in? I'd be shocked if every single one of these draft picks didn't make the roster, even the 7th rounders.
Yeah. I would agree. I would agree with you. Monheim is the one
that's the one.
Is the most questionable in my opinion to make it, just because of the, Luke Fortner has history starting games in this league, has history starting games for Liam Cohen at Kentucky. And I'm by no means like a stand for Luke Fortner being on this team. Great guy.
NFL's best backup center. He's the best backup center in the NFL. You don't know. Yeah. Put some respect on his name.
That's the thing from last season. You walked right into it, Jordan.
And we do share a birthday, so shout out to Luke. Happy birthday from last week, May 15th. But I love Jonah Monheim's athleticism.
Yeah.
I think he's really smart. But making the transition from playing full-time tackle for like 3 years to playing center is not easy. And he did that last year at USC. And there was a lot of good, especially when you're getting him in space. But there's times on the interior where things happen so fast. And you might think like, oh, things are happening way faster outside. You're going against these crazy athletes. It happens faster on the interior because your stances are lined up right on each other, and there's nowhere to go. There's less space. It's more of a confined area. So there were moments where just like he wasn't ready for that, right? And I thought his best moments were when they were in like drop back passing situations and he was able to retreat off the ball versus trying to make that push at the point of attack. And then also like, pulling, he was great in that regard. He was great getting downfield in the run game, getting to the second and third level, all that stuff. And his tackle tape is really good, but the problem is he has 30-inch arms. And I'm not trying to be Trent Baalke over here.
But I honestly didn't notice. I didn't even know that, dude.
That is like historically short for offensive line. And it's not like we're talking about Aiden Hutchinson, who had like 32 3/4 arms, and everyone's like, oh, that's too short. Trent Baalke's like, I can't work with that. Right? We're talking about this is like almost below the threshold to play outside corner, much less offensive line in the NFL. And so I like him. I like his tape. I like his athleticism. I think he's smart. I think he's a good football player, but that's just a difficult thing to overcome. And so that would be my one where I'm like, maybe he doesn't make it, but I do think everyone else is going to make it.
I think McLeod has the biggest struggle, which, while everything you say about Monheim is accurate, and again, another 6th-round pick, let the record show. I just think because the room is more crowded for the edge.
Well, I think he'll be edge 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Miles Cole's going to hold him off. I don't think Yasir Abdullah is going to to hold him off.
Yeah,
who else is going to do it?
About Abdullah. I
like Abdullah too. I liked him coming out, but even liking him coming out of Louisville, he was just a pure speed rusher. Jalen McLeod has more of a bag, and he does have that speed to him.
He can convert speed to power. He can, counter off of that. He's at least has that in his arsenal, so that's fair.
Yeah, and he has special teams value. He's been a special teamer.
Yeah, I got all the Jalen McLeod like scoops. I'm ready for the opportunity to interview that young man because my brother up in Washington D.C. knows his dad, so that's a whole nother just avenue of questions. Like I'm ready to talk to him about blue crabs and everything, bro. We there.
Hell yeah.
I see a future of Travis dunking on me often if he works out. That's basically what he's telling you. He is getting primed to dunk on Kyle. That's you saw the thing with the hands. He's doing the whole me, Jordan.
That's not where I'm at. That's not where I'm at. But I did want to hop into these undrafted free agents because one of our faithful listeners, 904 Funk from the Jaguars Discord, did ask.
Reach into the grab bag. I like it.
Did we sign an undrafted free agent quarterback to complete with Nick Mullins, or is homie just a de facto number 2 because of Grant Udinski? Thank you, 904 Funk. So I wanted your opinion on that because you've seen a little bit of Seth Hennigan from Memphis, at the Jaguars rookie minicamp, and you've seen Nick Mullins in the opening day of OTA. So I wanted to kind of know your opinion of what that's going to look like. How's that going to shake up?
Yeah, I mean, Nick Mullins is obviously a guy that's been in this system. He's been with the offensive coordinator. I think so much about being a number 2 quarterback or a backup quarterback in this league is like, are you somebody that people like to be around? Like, do you know the system? Can you communicate the system? Can you understand the system? Work with the coach, work with the starting quarterback, and just be enjoyable, right? Like that's kind of the job. I don't see him not being on the team. And as far as Seth Hennigan goes, there was some good stuff on tape from Memphis. Very productive quarterback. I think he's pretty smart with the ball overall. I haven't seen anything one way or the other so far to make me say, oh, this guy does not belong out there, or, oh, this guy's got to make the football team, right? And I wish I could give a better answer there. He's got NFL size. I think he has enough arm strength and arm talent to get it done. But I would kind of look at him as probably more of a practice squad guy.
Yeah.
Honestly. That would be my best guess.
Okay.
And I feel like Memphis throws out a lot of quarterbacks that are just this close. Going all the way to Riley Patterson back in 2017. I can say all that because I met this dude because so very constantly UCF played them, and I was covering them for various outlets, including the Black and Gold Banneret. So, and I actually even talked to him a bit at the Shrine game too. So, and I don't know if this is what you've observed as well with some of your draft stuff, but it feels like Memphis has a quarterback that's always this close, but just falls short of X to really take the field. So this feels like another one of those guys, but it's not bad to have them in depth, right?
Yeah, they've always got some offensive firepower over at Memphis, it feels like.
I don't know.
Always.
As far as other teams from the American that should be in a power conference, I would put Memphis there, but this isn't that kind of a show. I said what I said, Jordan. Go ahead, Travis.
But also with the defensive line not bringing in any additional guys as far as the draft was concerned, interior defensive linemen. Did you have any thoughts on the undrafted free agent, addition of BJ Green out of Colorado or Eli Moser from North Dakota State? Because those are 2 solid additions, but kind of want to know your opinion of them.
Yeah, BJ Green, I liked him a lot out of Colorado, and they brought in a couple guys from Colorado, and I don't think it was just to kind of like give Travis Hunter a nice soft landing spot here with a couple guys that he knows. I don't think that's the deal here. BJ Green, he's a guy that has some explosiveness and some power. He's 6'1", 270, right? So you think about that profile. That's a little shorter than you expect at edge. And 270, I mean, that's a big, powerful dude at that size. So I think you get a lot of that from him. And I think he'll have a chance to compete for a back end of the roster. I think he plays kind of with his hair on fire a little bit. You like that. And then obviously the kid from North Dakota State, those guys always play balls to the wall, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of their brand of football up there. He's more of a interior penetration style player versus BJ Green. Maybe has the versatility to get some inside reps here. But there's a few other guys. The one guy who I really do like, James Carpenter out of Indiana, when it comes to the interior of the defensive line. I like his game a lot. He played next to our guy CJ West, who went to San Francisco as part of their big revamp of that defensive front.
Mhm.
And West was more of the, big run stuffing guy who also could, get it done a little bit, trying to wreak some havoc in the backfield. But James Carpenter, 6'2", 288. So as an interior defensive lineman, that's undersized. And he has some of those quicks, some of that twitch, the ability to kind of cross you up, get you going in one direction and quickly explode into the backfield. So that's somebody who I think this regime, based on what we've seen from the Rams lately, could kind of favor that type of interior penetration style guy, with obviously Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner doing great work for them as smaller interior defensive linemen. That's somebody I think I'm going to have to keep an eye on for sure.
Okay. Well, everyone's favorite new undrafted free agent addition that they're just raving for and they love him so much, Eli Panko, wide receiver from Duke. Now, I got to know your thoughts. Like, Eli or Joshua Cephas? Where do you stand?
You coming out swinging with that one, Travis. Damn.
That's tough. I need more time on task, honestly. It's been a couple practices. I do know that if you're just talking about like NFL prototype traits, obviously you're going Pankall, but I think Cephas has something to him as well. And honestly, to make the back end of the roster, what do you got to do?
Special teams.
You got to beat out Parker Washington.
So,
wait, what?
No, Parker's on the team, I think. I think Parker's going to be there as their wide receiver 4 this year. But, you got to play special teams at a high level. So that's what these guys got to try to come out and do. But just from a receiving standpoint, I think that would be a heck of a competition, and it can be. And there's a couple other guys that are going to make it interesting at receiver as well, I think, in undrafted free agency. J.J. Jones, another big body, 6'3", 210, out of North Carolina, who I think has looked pretty smooth for his size. But, when you look at just like the production with Pankall, the obviously the pro day numbers, 6'2", 210, 4.33 40-yard dash, and then also a lot of energy. He's one of those guys that's always dancing with Travis Hunter.
Yep.
And so that's
and it's funny that should not be part of the evaluation, but you can't deny that this whole the whole ecosystem, and I hate to use that word because everybody else is, but it is what it is. That this whole ecosystem is all about aura, it's all about the vibes, it's all about the energy and all of that. So that does go into the evaluation of, hey man, this guy's out there having fun, he's out there dancing, it's infectious, blah blah blah. Like, that's just a positive. I'm with you there.
It's all of that, and then even though they're not on the team anymore, if they want to make the squad deep in the receiver core, they have to, on special teams anyway, keep up with the Joneses.
Yes. Very well done.
Hate all you want, hater. Nailed it.
So my last undrafted free agent guy was Jabbar Muhammad, who frankly just should not have been an undrafted free agent. I think a lot of people know about him, and if they haven't already known about him, they probably should just be subscribing to your channel and listen a little closer. But yeah, I wanted to give you a quick opportunity to talk about him. Like, I love the DB from Oregon. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he went undrafted because he's 5'10", 185, right? That's the only reason he went undrafted, because he played outside cornerback and he was sticky, he was fluid, he was competitive. I loved his tape. I thought he should have easily been drafted. And it's just one of those things with being an undersized guy. Sometimes that kind of that's how it goes, and you got to fight and scratch and claw for your place in the league. I think he does have a place in the league. And so when I look at the Jaguars DB room, they're not going to be like beholden to past drafts. Obviously, at corner, you have Tyson, Travis, Jordan Lewis, Jarian Jones. I don't think that anyone else is a lock. And so I think Jabbar Muhammad's going to be able to potentially play his way into a roster spot.
So you get any early season injuries, any ankle sprains for a week or two, or any of those things, and you have a legitimate opportunity to kind of earn a role. maybe not real playing time, but absolutely earn a death row pretty early on. So that should be interesting. But when you said little man, you didn't say little man, just to be clear. You said you said 5'10", 181. And for me, a 5'9.5", 184-pound playing weight, former cornerback, I took offense to that already because that felt like he was talking to me. I'm just like, that's why I said little man, just to be clear.
I saw your face, Travis, and if I could pinpoint the exact moment of when your heart left your chest by way of the evaluation.
I'm saying he's talking about me. That man got a half inch on me, and I'm like, I felt offended right now. That's all these days.
I told you I would have drafted him.
See, there you go.
I would have drafted him.
How about for that?
Well, thank you, Jordan. Jordan would have drafted me. I'm like, well, he didn't say that. He said he'll draft him, but I got you. Close enough. I'll take it.
Listen, you may have gone after.
Hey, I think you were faster than him.
Maybe.
I think I was. I ran 4.33 40 before I dislocated my kneecap. So yeah, that was always.
That's right.
I was excited and in pain right afterwards when you said that. But listen, this has been a great time. We could probably keep Jordan here for 4 hours, but we all have families, to my understanding. We'll just have to have Jordan back sometime. But Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguars, tell the world where you can be found, sir. Give them the socials, all that stuff.
Yeah, you can just follow me on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo. YouTube, GenJag, at GenJag for Jaguars coverage. If you want more draft stuff, you can follow Rogue Football on YouTube or subscribe to Rogue Football on YouTube. That's where all the non-Jaguars NFL draft stuff is, over at Rogue Football.
Okay. I learned something else. Of the many things I learned tonight, over and above your draft knowledge, Rogue Football is a thing. And by the way, if you want an ASMR experience by way of voice when you're listening to Jaguar analysis, make sure you include Jordan DeLugo here in your experience. There you go. Travis D. Holmes, tell the world, my friend.
Hey man, I can be found on all the socials. Travis D. Holmes, Blue Sky X, Instagram. I mean, follow the Duval Dive on TikTok. Like and subscribe us on YouTube. If you're listening to us right now, please just take a quick second. I promise you, it's nothing for you, but it's helpful to us. Rate and review us. Don't give us 4 stars. Give us 5. Come on, baby. Don't be a hater. But no, Duval Dive, like and subscribe. Travis D. Home on all the socials, and most importantly, BigCatCountry.com, because we're going to have you guys covered with all the Jacksonville Jaguars coverage, from the pressers to the OTAs to minicamp to training camp, all of it. What about you, sir? Where can you be found?
How you gonna give me the face you did right in front of Jordan with that keeping up with the Joneses comment, and then ask the world not to be a hater? How are you gonna do that with a straight face anyway? Of course, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and Blue Sky at the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my writings with the Fans First Sports Network, covering your Jacksonville Jaguars as well as the Orlando Magic. Hey, the NBA draft is coming soon. When that happens, I'll be there just as much as I'm writing stuff about various things for your Jaguars. And, of course, don't forget my work with the Black and Gold Banneret, covering UCF football and basketball. The Night Shift podcast, though, in the meantime, still going absolutely crazy over all the success for the Olympic sports there for UCF. So make sure you check out the great Bryson Turner and Eric Lopez, as well as Jeff Sharon, doing that on the Night Shift podcast and YouTube channel. So for Generation Jaguars, Jordan DeLugo, for my personal champion, Big Cat Country's own Travis D. Holmes, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game. Until next time, everyone, class dismissed.